Hello, Edonuzomo, Etemeniga, wa domo, wa bava. Yala sefena, doma emo, ni makokore webo, we Ędo language, ni maze, manibi Ędo language, ome vowels, ome consonants. The last video ni mau ve here when ma highlighting my ivima the meaning of Ędo voice and how it affects our pronunciation. So edene nania ioni ni ma ivima where Ędo language consonants. Consonants ini a consonant ni onaga owo eva eha ehion. Owo eva eha ene isen eha ehion ehe. So Ędo consonants onaga ni nia ima afeko lile okade. Ura video ya ni ukedori ade me oni mega kwe kugbe. Even when ya when I use the voice, when I lue voice, ya gbene eni, when I ya lue ya tieni, tiebe. Ina una miwe a voice in your pa wa ma emoe. So pa imagboho ni so ya tamia emine eni da dore no mean ima igbeno ni ladia because ira ho ni wa ni kawa with the voice for ne. So Ędo consonants na onaga so pa Ędo consonants yebe consonants orebo mi consonants orebo a letter popa ulaba okpa a consonant orebo. So pa a consonant oredo onaga eveva. Onaga eveva. Bini matie abidi vedo. Nebo tie ABCD. And manatie abidi vedo. So pa abidi ninia umana kweva kugbe nutie okpa who setting where a consonant and So good afternoon once again, viewers. I was just trying my best to introduce this particular lecture with Ędo language. But the topic for today is Ędo consonants. So I just mentioned, I did a throwback on our previous knowledge. And that previous knowledge has to do with the Ędo vowels. In our previous class, we were able to ascertain that Ędo vowels, they come as seven letters. But technically, I said there are 5, but because of the A and E in English and O and O because of the A and E, which is the double E, and then the O and O, which is double O, it brought our voice to 7 letters. Do not forget, let us start teaching our children how to use the diacritic in their own names. Start with their names and caution them when they are doing the pronunciation. It is sad when you hear someone calling your nephew Juswanlele. It's also sad when you hear someone that's her name is Abieyuwa. You say Abur. That's not. It's not done anywhere. It is not necessary for you to force them to read and write Ędo language, but at least it is important for us to teach them how to spell their names correctly, how to spell their family names correctly, and how to pronounce it properly. So, like I said, if you can teach them just 3 Ędo vowels extensively, you will be amazed that your children will be able to read and write Ędo language in future. The very 3 technical ones, or 4, They are all tricky. I could say that because the letter A, which you all know, we pronounce it as A, so it's all tricky. But if you teach them the diacritic, it will go a long way because most Edo names starts with Usa, and then some start with O, like Omorodion and what have you. So let's quickly go to the consonants today. I was just throwing back on previous knowledge. So I haven't done that, haven't talked about the previous knowledge. We quickly go to the Edo double consonants. It's double consonant because our Edo consonant does not accept one single letter. It has to be two. So the first consonant is GB, like as you have in Egbe or Egbe. You can imagine Egbe and Egbe is spelled the same way, but the diacritic will now help you to differentiate what it means or what you're trying to say. Egbe is spelled as E, G, B, E, Egbe. So it doesn't come with diacritic at all. That's because it is Egbe. Egbe means body. I try not to add the meaning of the words or the meaning of the names into my teaching yet. There will be a full series, a full lecture on names and meanings or words and meanings. I want to really start slowly to teach the voice extensively, teach the consonants extensively before we go to trying to form three-letter words, just the way you learned your English. When we were in primary school, they taught us how to read and write. They asked us to use the, Queen's Premier? Yes, Queen's Premier. They teach you if, in, on, is. So we started with two-letter words, as, After learning the alphabet, after learning the A, B, C, D to Z, we proceed to start learning the oral English, and then we proceed again to start learning how to pronounce two-letter words, how to join the two letters together to form a word. So that's why I'm stepping now into consonant. The first consonant, you have GB, as in Egbe or Egbe. So, and I said Egbe is spelled as E-G-B-E without diacritic in both E's, so that the child will automatically convert the E to A during pronunciation. Whereas the Egbe comes with a diacritic, double diacritic in fact, which means if you write E-G-B-E again, the first E should have diacritic, so automatically during pronunciation or reading, the child will convert it to E because of the diacritic. So when you now say Egbe, it will still be E-G-B-E, but the first letter E is with diacritic and the last letter E is also with diacritic. I want to talk about it first before I do demo, just like the way I taught the vowels. I will do a verbal talk first, and then we go to the proper demo using names and all of that to differentiate the pronunciation. So now you have GB, and I said as in Egbe. And then the second consonant in Ędo language is GH. Don't forget, Ędo language has double consonants. It's not like English language where you have just one consonant. I may have to teach English when I'm writing, when I'm doing the demo for the double consonants in Ędo language. I may have to teach the English consonants, before going to the double Ędo consonants. Maybe that will give us a clearer picture of what we're talking about. So now you have the GH, you have the GH in our Ędo consonants. The GH, you can find such consonants as in Ege. Ege. Okay? You have it in Ege. You have GH as Iga Lelewe. miss time. Like I said, I don't want to talk about meaning yet, but I'm tempted to chip it in as I'm talking. You have ihalelewe. You also have ihile. The same ihile that appeared when we were teaching letter I has appeared again in the consonant, because the ihile has consonants after the letter I, which is pronounced as E. So now you have the third one, which is KH. KH, yeah, KH. You can also find them in words like Okoko, that is chicken. You can find it in names like Ihimi. Yes. You can find KH in so many Edo words, but we are just teaching this now as a consonant, as a double consonant. The most important thing you need to know is Ędo language consonants comes as double consonants. It takes two consonants together to form a word. The two consonants can form the beginning of the name or word, or it can come in the middle. It depends on what you are trying to spell. So the fourth one is the KP. KP as consonant can also come in the middle, like as you have Iyekekpolo. The Kpolo is KP. Okay? Iyekekpolo. Okay? And then you have words like KP as Kpome. When you say Kpome, Ikpomusa, and all. Anywhere you hear Kpo in Ędo language, it means there's a consonant in the middle that accepts KP, letter KP, okay? And then we also have the MW. MW is when you have like Osasikeme. Anywhere you hear the pronunciation, me is always accepting the consonant MW. Like you have a Gumendia. So where you have the me, it means that you have the consonant there. I don't want to show you any word that has the consonant in the combination when writing. I just want us to just talk about the consonants, the double consonant. You have to first of all get the meaning and get prepared to see some names that people like my children can't even pronounce all those bo. Ędo language is the only language that when you are writing it, you can have consonants appear in the middle, at the end, in the beginning. It all depends on how you want to use it and what the spelling calls for. And then you have the MW. I said MW is where you can have it as me, imenobun. Do you have sugar at home? And I will say yes, I have plenty. Imenobun. The me is spelled as using the consonant MW. And then you have the ROH. You have the ROH. That ROH, you can also find the ROH in words like, you can find the ROH in words like Rieme. Yes, that Rieme, the Rieme at the end of the day is ROHI. Yes, ROHI. So the spelling starts with double consonants. Okay? Yes. And then you have the seventh one, which is double arrow. Yeah, funny enough. We are so privileged. We have two consonants together to either form a name or to write a word. And then at the end of the day, you have the eighth one. The eighth one is the popular VB. You need to learn that particular consonant, because that consonant is so common when you are writing Ędo language. Okay? Like when you say, when you want to write Obioha. If you are writing Obioha, You are going to start with letter O, the O without diacritic. Then you're going to have VB. Funny enough, yes, you're going to have VB. You're going to have I, E, O here. Then the E, we have a diacritic so that you are able to pronounce it, and it will depict the meaning you're trying to give to the public, either when speaking or when writing. So now, the speaking and writing of Ędo language, there are two different segments. You have to learn the diacritic. You need the diacritic to pronounce. The diacritic is so important. If you don't know the diacritic, you won't be able to speak and you won't be able to write Ędo language. If you write a sentence for me without using the diacritic, without putting the diacritic in the appropriate place, I'm going to interpret your write-up, right? So that's why we are emphasizing on the diacritic. And then that same verb is well, the VBO is so important, like I said. When you say, what you here is how are you? Do you know that that what here starts with VB? VBO, YE, But when you say VBO, YE, if you don't put a diacritic under the E, it will be meaningless. It will be Wayehe. No. So instead of just saying Wayehe, you say Wayehe, how are you? Wayehe means how are you doing? Okay? So when you say how are you doing, you start with V, B, O, Y, E with diacritic, H, E again. That's why I said Ędo names or words can start with consonants. It can have consonants in the middle. It can have consonants at the end. So I'm sure there are some English words too that takes consonant at the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, or towards the end of the word. But at the end of the day, you need the consonant and the voice mixed together to form a word, to form a name. Once we are able to master the voice, the consonant, and then we proceed to 2-letter or 3-letter words in Ędo. So slowly, we now teach you how to break the names into syllables. You find yourself reading and writing Ędo language so perfectly. If you can come here and learn French, I have seen children who were not even born in France. For example, I have my superior professor here. He was not born in France. He used to be a lecturer at University of Benin. Today, he's an authority in French language, Spanish language, and German language. Yeah, his name is Iyekekpolo. So what I'm saying is, he wasn't born in France. He wasn't born in Spain. He wasn't born in Germany. If he can learn those languages and not be an authority in that area, PhD in French, in a language that your father and your mother is not from Paris, I say his name is Iyekekpolo. He's an authority in French language. You can also encourage your child to learn how to read and write Ędo language. It is very important. If they can't even learn how to read and write the language, it is imperative for them to be able to spell and pronounce their name very well. I asked my daughter, what's your name? She said, Ivie. Some will say, Ivie, Ivie, Ivy. Never you allow anybody call your daughter abbreviation of Ivie as Ivy. It's not Ivy, it's Ivie. It's Ivie, not Ivie. Ivie, no, it's Ivie, it's pronounced as Ivie. So the irony of it all is, if you don't teach them from home how to spell their names and how to pronounce it very well, using the diacritic, of course, when you are writing French language, don't you use the diacritic? Don't you respect all the accents and whatever? If you don't do that, your lecturer is going to fail you. So we're going to go into 3-letter words as time goes on. But in my next lecture, I will be writing words that have consonants, and I will be making an attempt to pronounce it along with the children. In the subsequent class, where we're going to start using 3-letter words, I'm going to organize a dictation class for the children that have been following me on this channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your time. It is going to be useful to the children. Thank God we are at home now and we can take it as optional class. And I'm sure the children will learn something from us. So do not forget to wrap this lecture up. Ędo language has double consonants. And the double consonants, there are 8. There are 8 altogether, while the vowels are 7. Okay? And then the consonants again, you have the GB, you have the GH, you have the KH, you have the KP, MW, RH, RR, and VB. So in our next lecture, we're going to make an attempt to pronounce the double consonants. As we are pronouncing the double consonants, we are also going to write the way we wrote the vowels. At that time, we'll write out names where we have the double consonants. Some names we use for the vowels will still appear again when we are teaching consonants, especially names that have GB, GH, KH, MW, ROH, RR, and VB. Thank you very much. I'm so grateful. It's one love. Stay safe. Remember, it's COVID-19 pandemic. You don't want to be infected. Stay in your house. If it is not necessary for you to go out, stay home, stay safe. One love.